I mean, Draven would be the classic.
Look, I'm down to try it. I'm down to see it tried. Given the fact that it's Jaculov, sometimes it's not the champion, it's the player who decides he's going to absolutely pop off or die trying. It is going to be the Zeri instead. So I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
All of that, we get Zeri. God, get me out of here, man. Hysterics or someone. Come and cast this instead. I can't believe that we talked about Kog'Maw, they hover the Kog'Maw, and then they hover the Vayne, then hover the Draven. It's bloody Zeri. No, it is just Zeri. Just in case you hadn't seen it up for this champion, the Yumi's gone, the Lulu's gone, it's the Milio instead. It's still helping Zeri kite and be much in the same way that we're talking about the fellows from Game 2 of last series in terms of standing your ground and using the extended range and the cleanse and the like to just kite back and turn around a fight sometime later into it. Now, I haven't seen a huge amount of the Zeri-Milio lane pairing. I think there are definitely some ways where a Nautilus hook lands onto the Milio and they get burst out before the Zeri can really return fire. That's what I'm interested in from TT, particularly because we have just been talking about 1xN being a very proficient Aphelios player, being being the absolute best player on his LDL team, has to try and transfer that now into the LPL against these legendary players like Jaculov and Mark. Yeah, and one part of that function that I want to mention as well is his coach, right, which is No Name. And for anyone that's wondering, that is No Name from the 2014 LMQ over in the LCS.
Oh, that's what it was from.
Many years ago.
It's on the tip of my tongue, man.
Yeah, yeah. That is the coach for TT. So certainly a veteran player to help him try and reach those dizzying heights. I do feel like TT, a team with a lot of individual pop-off potential. 1xN, like you say, hyped up from the LDL. Yao Yao getting his chance over you. Yancho once more. He was playing for TT during playoffs when they lost to RNG. But also UCal. I feel like UCal is one of these players that, over the last couple of years, he went from, at least in my estimation, one of the worst mid laners in the LPL, I don't know how else to say it, to solo killing it, to dominating the mid lane. This Tristana pick came out for him that was like this huge turnaround moment, and suddenly he became a player that was lane dominant and could fight for games and win games for his team. And I feel like he's kept that moniker, he's kept that style ever since. And now he's become a player that I'm always excited to see, especially against the likes of Rookie.
UCal is a player with so much history in himself, too. Of course, completely overshadowed by Rookie, playing all the way back in Season 4, and he's been at the top of the tree pretty much his entire career. UCal has such a weird career trajectory because, yeah, he's had that dip. His first season, Season 8, I think that was when he was on KT, if I remember right. I'm trying to remember which team he was on at that point, but not up in time for the Herald. TT gonna get that, get out. They pull the ult now.
Oh, Flash, Spirit Rush, Charm, Everfrost, everything onto UCal. He's still alive for now, but taken down by the solo laners as Rookie goes back in and Wayward charges forward. A double kill on the Cassante, but Rookie has gone too deep. And 1xN just cuts him down with the shurikens. Wayward will fall too surely. 1 HP as Jaculov arrives on the scene trying to clean things up. But 1xN on a double kill already. TN is in here. Hoya jumps on forward and brings the barrel down on Jaculov. Wants a little bit more. Baytron goes back in. 1xN with a third of the fight. And Mark finds himself alone in the world. Baytron wants to finish the job, but kicked away.
TT, they find the right timing. The ults weren't quite available from top esports to engage onto TT while the Herald was going down. It's only after it's been taken that they go towards it. Rookie does pull UCal out of position, which is important. It stops TT being able to defend the choke point on their own with a Tibbers, with a load of their Sentinel turrets coming down as well. 1xN, though, uses the Chakram ultimate and is untouched because he's not the one caught in the choke. Feels like top esports. They overforce as soon as they can't quite get into that choke point.
I mean, on the first watch of this fight, I was looking at Rookie, I was like, Rookie, man, you really overstepped there. I didn't realize he was basically full health when he went over the wall. That was like 3 or 4 auto attacks that just shredded him. And because it was melee range, they were like instant auto attacks. So 1xN just annihilated him. The charm goes wide, though. It's going to be just a 50-50, and TN wins those. Wayward doesn't win those, though. Goes in and just gets wrecked as the disengage comes out from Mark. Rookie with a charm as well onto 1xN. Doesn't have the Spirit Rush if he has to, and Yao Yao flashes to force the Spirit Rush out from Rookie. TT are looking towards the Baron here. I don't know if that's something they can really look for.
They have, again, those turrets, really high DPS on the neutral objective, and they did get a kill onto someone with no teleport to come back. With the Spirit Rush down, I think TT are looking at the available combat options, looking at the lack of ultimates, and I think they can try this.
I will say, there's been two 50-50s this game, and Tien's won them both. He has Smite available in a few seconds, but actually currently on cooldown. 4K on the Baron. Tien goes in as the damage coming out from Jackie Love here, but the health bar's still decent for TT. It does feel like they're being corralled, though. Everfrost there from Rookie on the top side. Tien almost in the pit, goes in for this one as Jackie Love gets two for himself. Baron taken by TT, but they're stuck in the back of the pit. The lightning chaining across the team, but Jackie Love's down. Baytron gets him. 1xN still alive as the recall in the back of the pit actually goes on through for UCal. They walk away with 3 Barons.
TT match up to that with their own Aphelios, and they say, look, this is enough damage, we have the setup, we can make this work. So looking back to this point already talked about how the Xanthe's not going to be here. You don't have that disruptive frontline threat to kind of separate out the team fights, and that means that Jackie Love has a harder time buying space. And while he does get a decent amount of damage down, it's not like 1xN has been hit himself at this point. And he's the one with the more gold, he's the one with the more items. It gets scrappy, it gets pinned into the pit. But because of the difference in itemization between these 80 carries at this point, you can just see the amount of damage that 1xN can put out over his counterpart.
Unless we basically get a Flash Tibbers with the Wukong following up as well. TES have lost control of the Baron, though. It's TT on the scene there as Jackie Love clears away this mid wave.
Okay, let's see what happens with this Inferno. 1xN doesn't have himself the chakrams for huge continued DPS, but the burst damage is huge. Here we go!
Oh, Hoya, the cask isn't that great, but in the meantime, Wayward just kind of goes 1v5. The top laners both just throw themselves in and sacrifice their lives. So now we have a 4v4.
Yeah, carry on our Wayward son. Does not get nearly enough out of that one. Ultimate not pulled, flash not pulled. 1xN still has ult, still has Inferno.
Tien on the front line. Tibbers goes down here. Depth charge across the team as Rookie has to flash.
Oh!
1xN flashing onto Rookie to find himself a solo kill onto one of the greatest players in LPL history. Jackie Love wants to answer in kind as 1xN on the front line. Does he have the damage? Jackie Love laser across the team, stacking up the electricity. 1xN to go down, but he flashes away. He's the one to get the kill. Turn it into 2, and TT find another fight. I think they might have. Let's take another look at how on earth this started.
So Tien managed to buffer out of the CC, avoid the body slam with the with that advance coming in from that Maokai. But after this point, you know, you've traded frontliners, and the Zeri really needs to be standing behind someone if at all possible, particularly because the Aphelios has so many items at this point. The Zeri, it's not the same crit burst build which we had before. It's got a lot of sustained pressure, but you got a lot of bursts on this Aphelios. And while that ultimate goes wide, I think that was probably just to see if that last auto attack didn't crit and kill that that Ari. Potentially was just kind of some insurance after that point. This is where it gets absolutely hell for leather, though. The onslaught from the Severum, of course, triggers your other weapon. Really slick at switching between the weapons. Gets a 3-weapon switch beyond this as well. Runs out of ammo for 1 and changes over to the turrets, which then add extra DPS in. 1xN giving us a real masterclass on even in late game scenarios, keeping your cool and making sure you know which weapons are coming next.
Taken. TT now looking for the fight. It's UCal. No, denied by the Everfrost, but flashes forward for the re-engage anyway. Tien, the target, is Jackie Love trying to survive. Yao Yao in the brush, buying space. 1xN jumps on forward. Can't quite find Jackie Love, who somehow survives. Does not have a GA. Does not have any survivability left. Just that flash. 1xN wants a little bit more. The Calibrum still there. 1 more Q remaining, but changes it out in the end.
No one dies except the dragon, but that's what TT came there for. They managed to escape from the teleport flank. Wayward trying to kill a wave, gets stunned up, goes unstoppable.
In the exact same spot once again, Wayward will walk out with his life. TT, though, with Soul and winning out that team fight, even if they don't get the kills. We'll move over to this Baron and Tien.
So
this is going to be hard to contest. There's no flashes.
There's no flashes, no Maokai ult, no Milio ults. There's some big fight cooldowns gone, but it feels like top esports, despite the fact that they're not getting killed in these fights and they're managing to stop 1xN getting everything that he wants, they're also not finding any victories for themselves. They haven't picked up a neutral objective from basically besides just some 50-50 spites. Feels like they're slowly just rolling into the abyss.
Yeah, that's the part that you have to remember. Those 2 Drakes, they were 50-50s. That wasn't top esports having control of the Dragon area. That was them just contesting. TT have been in the driver's seat this whole game long, and now 8,000 gold up at 40 minutes on the clock. Medjai's picked up by UCal as well on 10 stacks with a stopwatch to boot. this is feeling like it might just be the game for TT to start the series off in style. It's a slow burner. It's certainly, this is like one of those TV shows where you've got to get like 5 episodes in before it really kicks off, but it is kicking off for TT.
Now, funnily enough, one of my favorite shows I watched recently was Andor, one of the Star Wars shows, which was a bit of a slow burner. It's also one of my favorite things I've watched in a very long time, and this game as well is promising at least one more cataclysmic team fight. And in fairness for Top Esports, they have the builds and the damage to potentially get themselves a turnaround fight. We are late enough into the game where one fight could be catastrophe for TT, despite their heroic plays earlier into the game. They're trying to sync up their waves. Hoya's in the mid lane, hasn't got his teleport for the next few seconds. TT paying respect to that and slowly shuffling these waves into the base.
Catastrophe is Top Esports' middle name. They live in the space between reality and catastrophe. But now the siege of the mid lane continues with these cannoned up Barons? The Baroned up cannons. Slowly but surely chipping away at the towers.
I'm not sure we really want to take cannon with extra armaments. I think that's a little unfair.
But the wave being pushed as slowly as possible for TT so that the mid wave can crash at the same time, but not quite going to work out for them. The wave instantly cleared with an Ahri getting the true damage from the Order for Deception, plus that Zeri shredding the wave. They will be able to clear the bot side, they will be able to clear the wave in the mid lane, but the cannon almost getting that tower. Not quite, but I mean, it's a single auto away. They could just walk up and finish that one off.
Definitely try. Tien hanging over the wall, Maokai ult in position. What can they get with this?
Nearly got the tower, 1xN playing it cautious as Wayward steps on forward. A TP coming on through. The roots from Tien not quite going to do enough as the cleanse was forced, but it's not enough to force away. Wayward with a triple knock-up! It's huge, but the cast from Hoya denies it! No follow-up from the rest of the team, and now the Ocean Soul will pay dividends. The regen can come on through for TT. They can keep this siege rolling. Wayward with heroics, but answered in kind by the opposing man. Hoya denies the play.
In any other game, that could have saved their skins, but it doesn't quite manage it. Back to the base for Top Esports. One last defense.
And look at the health bars. The Ocean Soul basically bringing everyone back to full rookie. A bit of damage out onto Hoya, but they can keep this going all day long. 2 inhibs taken. All they have to do is wait for super minions at this point. Top Esports hanging on, fighting tooth and nail. They will not give up just yet, but it feels so difficult, especially without those ultimates available.
I think they might just be able to wave clear TT. They don't want this to go to an Elder. They don't want it to be a flip around that objective if they can help it. But they're not going to have the choice. They're going to have to back off. Waves just not meeting up for them. Clearing up some waves.
Oh, the charm. H1 gets out with his life. Draculova's caught. Hoya with another incredible cast. Hoya saving the day for TT. And now 1xN can clean these health bars up. He's untouched in the fight. Infernum across the squad as Wayward tries to pull the fight back for his team. 1xN just walks towards them at Nexus. Wayward has to do something miraculous, but he's got no HP and he's taken down. TT have done it. The upset comes on through, and in game 1, TT live up to the thunder in their name. This would be an exciting lock-in if we do see it from Top Esports. I would love to see the Kha'Zix, a bit of pop-off potential for Tien here. But the Syndra up against Rookie's Ahri here. Bit of carry potential from UCal. The Jarvan was hovered by TT as well. And I remember coming into 13-10, Jarvan was a big pick in solo queue.
There we go.
But it will be the Kha'Zix locked in the end, Tien, with some carry potential. And this is a scrappy team. Look at that top 3 picks for Top Esports. They want to fight.
Well, same could be said for TT as well. Both of these top sides are going to be at least have the tools to really rip out the heart of these skirmishes. It's not like you can't go towards bot side as well. Nautilus, very easy to set up around, and both these AD carries will want to have a lot of gold in pocket. This is going to be probably a very different game compared to that first one. It feels like the engage is probably a little easier to come by because the pick CC is much more available from the likes of the Hook, and then also the Scout of the Week coming in from UCal. UCal doesn't have that Annie this time for the same kind of consistent engaged threat of the Tibbers, but having that Scout of the Week, I think that's a tool to really watch out for, particularly when you have a very squishy jungler and a mid lane opponent you can also one-shot.
See if they can find those targets to one-shot, if they can set it all up. The CC chain is kind of disgusting, though, from UCal and from Beichuan. The Vi Syndra combo, like, you can die before you get to move again. So that could be a concern. If TN gets caught, Beichuan just presses R. The follow-up there from UCal can really ruin things. I feel like this is a very high damage game, Namera. Like, when you look across both teams, there is a lot of damage available. This could be an extremely scrappy game. This could be an extremely messy game. And that's what I'm really hoping for, especially after the early game in game number 1. I'm hoping we get a little bit more proactivity, a little bit more scrapping, a little bit more skirmishing. None of that Maokai nonsense. It's Kanzik's time. It's time to see if Top Esports can push us to 3 games, or if Thunder Talk are going to find their upset. A ton of CS. Oh, the wave comes and survives. Nico making her way into this game. The minions ruining everything. 1xN down for first blood. And Jagulov denied minions, sure, but he'll take 400 gold instead. Yao Yao next on the chopping block. It's a great little dredge line, but Rookie flashing forwards to find the mark here. Yao Yao dodging everything, but it just doesn't matter.
The timing is too slow from TT. You can see the angle. Yes, level 2 to level 1, wave crash dive. But TN gets there in time and bursts out 1xN, who didn't die the entirety of that first game, if I remember rightly. Incredible game on the Aphelios, but not able to start things off on the front foot this time. Jagulov flashes out the way. Beichuan not able to connect onto that, and then the hook goes into the minion. And after this point, Tien has arrived. TT, they had a very small window of time to make things work, and that window closes.
And the fact that Tien doesn't get that kill and he walks about 1 HP, like, if Bark had got the kill, that'd suck. But the fact that Jagulov gets the kill after this whole early game for TT has been around shutting Jagulov out of the game, it means that that CS advantage that 1xN managed to build up off the back of this denial. The only biological thing I care about is Tien being in the brush. He's an insect, that's pretty biological. Unless you go by the standard I just set for myself. It's going to be a kill here for Tien. No, it's not, it's going to be turned around. Beichuan does fall as well as Rookie, able to answer. But UCal saves the day there. Charm wide, hook wide, everyone missing in the mid lane.
And that's a big amount of gold to be giving over to this Syndra, who's gone for the pen boots. It's not like they have Merc-Tres. The damage is going to be significant coming out of UCal, who already had a strong game 1 comparative. Rookie was really not able to play that first game, giving that kill over to the Syndra. Excited to see what he can do on that AP mage / assassin when they get ahead.
The top side, that fourth plate did go, the second plate, sorry, did go down in the bottom side as well. Let's take another look as Tien. It all looks so good to start with.
It did, because you had the isolation damage, you had the level 6 come in as well, so you had, I'm trying to think, yeah, you had the Q evolve for that, but Beichuan, great stun, and then also the second Q into the flash away, big burst damage, just about saves the day.
Yeah, Beichuan having to stick around here just to make sure 1xN doesn't get taken out. 1 billion wards in every direction here. This Top Esports trying to find a pick. 1xN wanted to go for that tower, but with Tien in the area, there was just no way.
Now, one of the big things which happens around that Dragon take is that the Blade Caller had already been put out by Jagulov. Yeah. Doesn't get to ult into the E, uses that E to burst down the Dragon, which means that he can't control that choke point. TT, they spot that and they say, okay, all right, fight's on. They don't get that Dragon, but they at least manage to get themselves the chase down afterwards.
Jagulov looking to finish this tower off, but Hoya trying to defend. He's in a 1v2, 1v4 actually, as the rest of the gang are moving on over. The flash is too little too late. Jagulov takes a chunk, but Hoya didn't land the needlework. And it means Top Esports just get themselves a free kill.
That's an awkward moment from Hoya. You see the angle again. Jinx ult coming down. If you hit another couple of your ultimate stacks, maybe that gets the kill onto the Xayah in a 1v4. A bit of an assist across the map, but Top Esports now, they got themselves the control over the bot side of the map with huge amounts of vision control. Jagulov gets himself some gold off of that one too, gets a turret. Top Esports, they're getting themselves a gold lead off of this.
Yeah, the mid and top tier 1s are extremely low. That will be the mid tower taken down. But I don't think they can finish off the top tower for the time being. Beichuan in the area. Wayward has to back away. Certainly will. Rookie fishing for a charm here. He's looking for 1xN. The Everfrost is gorgeous, but Yao Yao ends up being the target. Still 3 stacks on the Spirit Rush. Rookie could look for another attempt. It's Beichuan getting cheeky with it. Wants a way to potentially steal a Baron if Top Esports are willing to commit to that. Rookie could be in danger if he goes into that approach, but Beichuan's backed away. So Page1 not been spotted just yet. The control wards keep himself out of vision there. But Top Esports not willing to just commit. They only got a support. Would be very dangerous to go for the Baron there.
So that's a great point, because there is somewhat of a, and it'll depend on draft, but on the whole, you have like a priority list of targets that you want to take down before a Baron. First, it's pretty close between jungler and AD carry. AD carry is right now so very strong, especially when you get that Baron up in the game. There are around about 2.5 items as we see at this point. Kill the AD carry, you can likely turn off of a Baron and win a fight. You kill the jungler, you can likely just go for the kill because they don't have a smite to secure it. You really, at that point, you don't want to be killing someone with teleport because they might be able to respawn it and then to come back into the fight. And then a support at the end of the day is just a support, especially when it's a Nautilus. It's like, oh well, whatever. It's not like we've denied like an enchanter from a hyper carry or something like that. So Top Esports sadly not able to get the most high priority target in that pick.
A huge cooldown trade.
Rookie now going to be able to catch Page1 though.
Oh, this is huge. What a pick onto the jungler of TT. And in the meantime, Wayward behind enemy lines. He's onto Hoya here. Hoya could be in trouble himself. Orbital Deception does a bit of damage there. Needlework to trade it back, but Tien finding his way behind enemy lines. Another great charm coming out from Rookie. Yugal's in trouble, and Tien dives in. We said he was behind enemy lines. They're not the lines of the enemy anymore. They belong to Top Esports. As the Baron taken out by the rest of the team. Page1 just not realizing the Rookie could be behind the team.
But the fact that this happens at the same time that 1xN is being forced to retreat, flash backwards, and not be in a position to fight is really well timed by Top Esports. We've had some concerns about some other teams which will have great playmakers, but they're not at the right time, not in the right place, not happening together. That isn't obviously very applicable here. Top Esports, they time it really well. All of these key plays happen at the same time, and that leads to a really important victory for them in the mid game.
It feels tough at this point. Getting close to 3 items for 1xN though. And when that Infinity Force is finished, 1xN will certainly start to be a terror in these team fights. It just feels like he doesn't have that much frontline to work with.
No, Rookie's going.
Oh, Rookie just flashes in. Yukal's gone. That's the assassin Ari that we always used to see. And Rookie making it real once more. Hoya, 1xN, Yao 1v3 to try and save this game. But Top Esports don't look like they're showing any signs of stopping here. They want to finish things off. It was such a slow start to things, but speeding things up beyond the 20-minute mark, they get the Baron and they're looking to end the game. They won't be able to do it just yet, but these Baroned up cannons will keep on going. They've got 20 seconds left. They won't be able to go for it. They move up to the top side. They want a second inhibitor.
Yeah, TT are alive, but there's barely clinging to it. Minion wave just about cleared out by Hoya's ultimate, but Hoya, on this Gwen, not really been able to impact things. The picks have happened before Gwen can get into a grouped up situation, around a choke point or the like. Hoya has just had to be kind of spectator to Tien and Rookie, really finding the crucial picks. This one happens under the turret. It happens as the Baron comes in. And it's a great pick onto Yukal, who in his own point he's positioning way too far forward for one of these Scout of the Weeks. His crown is down. It's been popped very easily by Isaiah. The item doesn't give him any value in that situation. Rookie pounces onto him.
Oh, we've got to fight live as Wayward caught out potentially, but Rookie's here! And another great Everfrost, another great charm, sets up the players. Yukal's taken out Yao next, but Jackie in trouble? No, he's not. He's got a triple kill. Jackie is never truly in trouble. Yao trying to escape with his life, but taken down as Jackie gets himself a quadra kill. Page1 just looking to be a nuisance, escape with his life. Jackie will not get his penta, but he'll get a quadra kill and he'll be happy with that. 15-3. After game number 1 looked so good for TT, Top Esports show us that they are the ones in control. The Varus Heimerdinger combo, but the lethality Varus, honestly, I think a lot stronger than people are giving it credit right now. And it's a relatively squishy team on the side of TT as well for him to poke away at.
It was LNG versus Weibo where we saw that one being picked out, and I believe it was Light which picked up the Varus itself. Ended up walking away, of course, with a win with that. LNG, despite adding Guile to their roster, not having the easiest starts to this split. Have to see what they can do continuing on into that one. But in this game, it is all about Game 3, Top Esports, TT. TT won in Spring versus Top Esports, even though they were so very, very close in the standings. 7th and 8th place. This could be a very important matchup if they were to be as close again at the end of summer.
Let's see what Jackie Love can do on the pick. I feel like Jackie Love versus 1xN is absolutely the matchup to watch right now. They've both been playing so well across this series. 1xN put behind in game number 2, and Jackie Love had his moment to shine. Whereas game number 1, 1xN on that Aphelios, just destroying people. Now, on the Jinx once again. Didn't work out for him in game number 2. We'll see if he can redeem himself, or whether the answer to beating TT is just ban Aphelios. Game number 3 will be the deciding factor. And look at this, 1xN starting boots. Yeah, he's got boots as well, so that's big damage coming out from the Annie. Hoya and Wayward in a bit of a scrap up top as Wayward goes for the all-out. He wants the 1v1, but needlework in play here. Hoya goes wide on 2 of them, though, and Wayward misses his cue. Everything's going wide in this one. It's a comedy of errors, but Hoya coming out on top.
Couple of near misses there from Hoya. Cancels an auto 2, misses a needlework, but it is just enough to thread the needle in that solo kill. Wayward lost the matchup here in game 2. Manages to redeem himself a little bit with those team fights. Hoya, though, important solo kill and plates on top of that. That's a big win, especially considering Wayward has no TP. Can't even collect this cannon wave at tower.
Yeah, he's like 20 CS down off the back of this play. It's absolutely massive. And he was the one starting this off.
I think he's just trying to get something with a level 6 mark up. But Hoya hits it first. Wayward, even with the stack Qs, not able to outvalue. I get when you're Cassandra, you can kind of look at half your HP bar and say, it's enough. That's basically full HP bar when you're all outing. It gets close because flashes over the foot, that needlework, dodges another one. You think, hey, with those 2 stacks down, maybe you can win this. And considering that Q3 was missed, this was a close run thing.
So close to finishing Hoya off there. Great movement. Jackie Love getting so far ahead. Yao has decided to leave that lane. Rookie flashes straight away, but it's a 3-man play. It's a great charm follow-up. Yao getting the kill with the Eclipse. It's not ideal, but it's still a kill. I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it. TT getting all mathematical on us. Although I'm not sure how mathematical they're seeing it as, but I like the mountain range
they can
analogy.
See the matrix.
I'm here for it. I feel Swiss
numbers.
listening to this story with all the mountains involved. But yeah, top esports kind of sticking to mostly what's standard in this series until they brought out this Varus and Heimerdinger, which I think might become standard if we keep seeing these 80 carry bands. Big all in at the bottom side mark. The target taken down, and now the follow-up from top esports. They want to turn this around. Tibbs is doing some work here. Oh, great charm from UCal, but he can't follow it up. And it will be a 1-for-1 in the end. It's Wayward trying to find Hoya here. Is he going to go for an all-out at this point? Yes, pulls him, but won't find the knock-up just yet. Needs to find that Q. Oh, the flash is a whip!
No!
Wayward! It's gone so sideways. It's a disaster in the top lane.
Hoya with nerves of steel, though. Doesn't even blow the flash, just sidesteps, hits his own skill shots, knows his damage, and Wayward is being comprehensively outlaned and out 1v1'd.
That was tough to watch. Especially from Wayward, who we just saw an interview saying, you know, I'm trying to make it to the All-Pro team. He obviously wants it. The whip, too much.
Solar Flare not able to get the maximum value out, doesn't cut the fight short as they would have liked to, and what that means is that a load of turrets get to go down with the Heimerdinger roll, which add onto the Tibbers. What we go into here, though, is briefly a 2-level advantage in that top side, reduced to a 1 when Wayward manages to kill one of those minions, but he chooses this fight, much like previous ones. And he just gets absolutely blasted. Hoya just outsteps him time after time. One of the questions we had in game 2 was what happens with this matchup? Wayward managed to outvalue in team fights later on, but he struggled in that laning phase. Hoya, he's come down to the fight at this point, but he's not had to make a trade for getting a kill in a team fight as opposed to trade it off to Wayward getting a couple of plates in the tower. Wayward, he doesn't have a way into this game right now.
And you have to wonder what happened between games that his mentality of this matchup has changed so much. Like, what did a coach say or someone say to say, like, look, you've got to try and find the Gwen in the early game? Because he's really going for it in this one. He's got a winning bot lane, and he's caught out again. That's just going to be a kill over to UCal. Be able to bring top esports 2-3 games. Hoya, 1v2 on the bottom side. And you can't beat Wayward when he's got TN there as well. UCal will be spotted by the sweeper here. Do they
spot
commit
the
over
Ari.
the wall? UCal's in trouble. Gets over to the rest of his team. Jagulov's in trouble in the meantime as the Cyclone comes on through. Jagulov's solar flare is there and he will go down in the end, but Yao Yao escapes with his life. In the meantime, Top Esports 4 strong, but the needlework does some damage. Hoya over the wall as Tibbers is 1v1ing Yao Yao in the meantime. But Top Esports pull the fight out. UCal and Beitron taken out.
TT not going to have that unparalleled point of power, which we maybe thought they could. And Rookie is going to cash out some people in between the gaps, going to find Hoya.
Has he been seen yet? There we go. Now he's been seen. Tibbers comes on down. Look at the damage out from Rookie. On top of TN's Black Cleaver. Damage is one thing they are not shy on. 5k on the Baron. TN is in the area though. Is this going to be a 50-50? He's CC'd up by Yao Yao. Trying to get into the pin. He gets it! He actually gets it as Wayward takes out 1xN as well. It's disaster for TT. 1-for-1 in the fight. Now stuck in the back of the pit, but Wayward's over the wall. Just waiting for them to come. It's Beitron taken out. 2 kills and a Baron. Everything goes the way of Top.
There are burgers everywhere. The flip's gone awry. They're all on the floor. The condiments are scattered. TT desperate around that objective, and they are punished for it yet. What a lot of flips in that first game, which went the distance. Went very late game. And in this game, and probably the most important flip of the series, Tien walks away with the smite. The damage is there from TT. You can see how much damage onto the Baron that Gwen does alongside the other carries of the Jinx and then the Ari, who's not quite quick enough. They can't quite keep Tien out of the pit. And now you have to think that was the last gasp from TT. You lose that Baron, you're going to lose control of the map afterwards.
Yeah, you certainly are. And especially with Varus Heimerdinger. This is the perfect situation for them. Pushing with a Baron always feels fantastic. And you can see the Top Esports gang backstage, very happy with what's happening here. Yao Yao trying to find something alongside UCal, but Rookie might just all in him here, waiting for that Eclipse to go down. Frost, as well as TP from Hoya, now behind enemy lines, but he's not going to be able to get in on this one. UCal actually turns golden to keep himself alive. Tibbers used on just the one as a rocket. Golden again from Rookie this time around. Trying to move upwards in the fight as Hoya finds one onto Rookie and TT. Somehow finding an advantage here. This got real wacky real quick.
Rookie just too separated from the rest of the team. The reason TT couldn't press this advantage harder is because that thing in the top right of your screen, the AD carry, was not there for that fight. The rocket was the only contribution they can have. See it? Top Esports still in the enemy jungle though.
UCal's so close to finding that charm there, but Top Esports play it safe. Drake coming up in a second. And remember, Top Esports, this is their soul if they can take the dragon. 15 seconds on Rookie and he has TP available. Feels like TT are nervous to fight for this one.
It would be soul for Top Esports, and again, not really the game-ending soul in the way that a Hex deck is, or potentially some Mountains and Infernals. Not all souls are created equal. Teleport back in from Rookie. No Tibbers, but he has himself the stun. How much can TT do?
Gotta watch Beitron. He needs to make his way into the pit. Oh, he's chunked by Jaculov. The rocket goes out, soul taken, and Wayward has found Beitron. Knocked him back as he dashes forwards, looking for Yao Yao as well. Hoya zoned away by Tien. Q3 flashed away from Beitron, gets into the brush, but he's alone and chased down by Jaculov. A hail of arrows falls from the sky, and Beitron is slain. Yao Yao next, but it's a great Everfrost from UCal to buy space for his support. Taken down anyway with the all-out. As now Hoya rejoins the team. Oh, the charm keeps Rookie away, denies the Tibbers. It was just about on cooldown, but Rookie was looking for the stun. Top Esports, they get soul, they get a couple of extra kills, and they get control.
And the carries of Thunder Talk Gaming just can't make it happen. Hoya caught out to the side this time. It was 1xN just before that. And 1xN has barely been able to impact either of the games since that first one. First game looked so good, but without the Aphelios, looks like he's without teeth. Hoya without a life bar.
And Hoya had such a good start to the game, had such a good team fight earlier on with the needleworks going on through, but consistently not respecting what Top Esports can do to lock him down and take him out. That'll be a mid lane inhib taken. And this feels reminiscent of what we saw yesterday with LGD taking JDG to 3 games. The underdog story felt like it could come true. They might actually just win the game without personally hitting the Nexus here if these cannons keep up the way they're going.
perfect victory. Not a single auto attack on the Nexus, and yet you're the ones that can win it. These cannon minis are getting scarily strong, though. Scary close to that Nexus. Tara keeps going down. That's a Jinx ult for wave clear. 1xN really just trying to do the bare minimum he can to these turrets.
Here we go. The attempt comes out. Yukal with the flash forwards, but just locked down and taken out here. JackeyLove in trouble. Hoyer on the back line, but shot straight between the eyes. We've got Robin Hood there for JackeyLove, as he will finish the game in style. TT forced back onto Fountain. And it looked so good for TT in game number 1 of the series, but Top Esports remind us why they're in the conversation for being a top team as they make their way towards the top end of the scoreboard. That'll be their 3rd victory on the board, which puts them, I believe, in 2nd place, as they'll have slightly better game difference over JDG.
And Top Esports, a team with a huge amount of expectations, huge amount of name brand value. They were very close to TT in spring. They lost them in the regular season. They just about pipped them to the post in the standings. They've ended up finishing 7th over TT's 8th.